we are at Zoku in Amsterdam, a place where you live, where you work, where you play, where you do anything that you like. And we're meeting with Verle. I think she's been with Zoku for 9 years or something, and she built this place from paper to reality, and we're very excited to hear her experiences, what she thinks, what went good, what went bad, and what this magic place is.
So the first thing we did was take out all the walls in between. This is where the musical heart of Amsterdam is ticking. That's this place, and we're a part of that.
The more free you are to move around, the more creative you get.
Workspaces and People Season 2 here on YouTube.
Tell us a bit about you, about Zoku, about who came when up with it, and how people like it, and what they do and what they don't do.
Great, yeah, absolutely. So the idea of Zoku first started with our co-founder Hans around, I think 9 years ago is when he initially thought about this new group of people. They were called digital nomads, global nomads. I mean, there's a lot of different words for them. And he saw that there was kind of a change in the market where people with expat contracts working for big companies, they would usually go for 3 years to Amsterdam from their office in New York, and they would take their wives, kids, dogs, and they would all go here. And it was a very expensive contract for companies to have. And then the crisis hit, and companies started to build off decrease the expat contracts. And they said, okay, we're going to send people for only 6 weeks to a city, and then you don't have to bring their wife, their kid, their dog, everything with them. So they can just put them on an assignment for 6 weeks and then bring them back again to the head office. And this short-term assignment market started to increase quite rapidly during and after the crisis. And he saw that there was a market for these people staying between 5 days and 3 months in the city to live and work. And at that time, they were staying at hotels only, sometimes Airbnbs. They were still up and coming, at that time. I think Airbnb just started. It was quite an interesting group of people. We started with 150 interviews with these people, with their travel managers, their expat managers, mobility managers, and really got to know.
Were you involved at that time already?
I was involved at the end of these interviews.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was involved a bit over 7 years back, and it was very exciting times because you're basically starting with a white sheet of paper, and you're not looking at any other hotels or extended stay hotels like they would.
Because you're inventing it new.
Yeah. And we're taking people as a starting point and not a building or something that's already quite defined. So we said, okay, we're gonna really get to know these people, step into their shoes, know their frustrations, know what delights them at the same time, and live as global nomads ourselves to really get to know their lifestyle. And what we found is that they were putting hotels or Airbnbs, and they said, okay, it's already better to be in an Airbnb than to be in a hotel room because basically it's a bedroom, but it's still quite lonely, and it's really hard to get to that point where you say, okay, I actually know what I'm doing here in the city. I know where the good supermarket is. I know where to get a haircut. I know where to buy a bike, especially in Amsterdam. That's important. So
that's important.
Very important. And these people said, okay, so there's something missing, right? A lot of these short-term assignments, they also failed because people were just so unhappy. And we said, okay, we have to create a concept that goes around their needs and really focuses on their well-being as well as being, effective at their work, but also like living comfortably, making friends. So that's kind of where the idea of Zoku started. And then we took a very long time to develop the concept further. We made 6 prototypes of the room, which I'll show you later as well. And we really built it around their needs. And what we ended up with is basically you have your private life at Zoku is all about the Zoku loft. It's a little micro apartment of 25 to 30 square meters.
I checked it out because I thought MP could stay there. I'm staying with my friend, but MP is staying.
Oh, that's great. Cool.
We have a similar, not similar, but we have found a nice homey-ish
place too now.
Cool.
Yeah, but I think you were booked out or something.
Probably,
like these 2
yeah.
years.
Today, I mean, I tried to get a room for us as well. They were like, "Oh, it's not ready yet." So it's been full, and yeah, I think at the moment it's IBC in Amsterdam. And it's a huge, conference hall,
Like, everything's booked.
yeah, everything's booked. It's horrible. Yeah,
If you want to come to Amsterdam, make sure to book on time.
yeah, it's this city. I mean, it's for us. It's the best city to start because it's our backyard, but it's a great climate for
It's a
anything
hub
travel
for
and business.
people going. Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. So what was I? Yeah. So on the one hand, you have your Zoku loft, and it's all about. It has everything you need to live comfortably, but also to work efficiently. And I think the coolest thing about the Zoku loft is that your table is the most central point of the room instead of the bed, which in hotels mostly the case that the bed is the most central point.
True. What made you change that?
It's actually quite interesting when you interview people about what makes a home for you. They really say a lot of things, but they all focus on one thing, and they say it's the ability to invite people into my space and to show them my space, and that also touches upon the fact that they really want some say in how their space looks. And of course, in hotel rooms, it's all set, and when you leave, all traces of you are being erased. And we think it's quite interesting that we gave them the opportunity to swap their art from the wall. So there's a little art swap in the hallway, and you can grab one of those paintings and put them on the wall and swap it out. If you don't like yellow, then you grab the blue one, and really kind of have a little bit of an influence on your space. And then again, I mean, this 4-person kitchen table really makes also a shift in mentality. You come into the place and you think, okay, it's not a bedroom, it's not a hotel room, it really feels like a home. And you can have meetings there, you can play a game there, you can have dinners. So it's really, kind of your social life focuses around that as well inside the loft. And next to that, you have these social spaces where we're sitting right now. These are all about facilitating effortless connections. So people really easily get to know each other. There's long communal tables, there's lots of little living room spaces. It's almost really hard to not meet people.
Yeah.
So
that's what the feeling. That was my feeling as well. You get it. You enter the room, and everyone's like busy, having coffee, working, chatting, but it doesn't feel busy. Or it feels like it's good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think the ambience. I think what's really important here, we kind of experimented a lot. We're very experimental in that way. We say, okay, we're going to try something, and if it doesn't work, we're going to try something else. And in the beginning, we noticed this was such a success, the space. People really love hanging out here, working here, and it was getting busier and busier and busier. And you have that moment where the ambience kind of changes from
it gets too busy?
Too busy. Yeah, it goes from cozy to oh my god, it's frantic, and people, you see them kind of.
So that happened.
So we said, okay, we have to do something about it because we don't want to become. You have a lot of cool places in Amsterdam that are so popular that they just become so busy, and then it's kind of flips from being this cool place to it's way too busy there. I'm never going to go and work there. So we said, okay, we're going to do something about it. So what we did, we created an extra layer on top, which are memberships. So that's kind of for us also a way to control what type of people are in the space. We have a really cool base of members, local members. They're all these type of freelancers, entrepreneurs from a lot of different industries. So we also kind of curate that a little bit. We want them to be able to kind of interact with each other and learn something new. A lot of people started businesses and assignments together because they got to know each other. And these members are always here. Those are our monthly members. And then we always have every day a few day passes for people that just want to come up and work. Because we're very inclusive, people can just come up. But at a certain moment, these day passes, we cap them. So it doesn't happen too often, but when it's getting too busy, we say, okay, we have to stop the day passes, and then you can't have extra people work here anymore because then it's not nice anymore. People work like this, cramped up, and that's not nice for anybody. So
So do you go by the amount of people working in here, or do you go by the atmosphere and busyness? Like, when do you stop giving out those tickets?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's kind of both. I mean, we have a certain number of maximum day passes per day, but it also depends on how many monthly members show up. So we have we have of course our members that we always have here, and if there are a lot of them show up, all of a sudden, like, we have to decrease the amount of day passes. But yeah, I think atmosphere is leading here. So people say it often. They say, it feels like this warm bubble and it feels very safe and comfortable and really nice to work in, and that's for us so important to protect, and also for the people living here that want to work up here during the day. Very important.
Nice. How did you find this location? Because it's, I mean, for Amsterdam, this is quite high.
Yeah, true. It's actually funny. I mean, we looked for a few years for locations. It's not easy to find a location in Amsterdam, which might be pretty obvious. Yeah, you
12 times in 5 years.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course. Yeah, same here. I mean, it's horrible. And we were looking. We started the concept kind of in the crisis, and we were looking for funding and for a location in the crisis, which was very hard. And then we found this place, and it was still an office back then, so we had to convert it into a hotel.
Okay.
Which was pretty new and exciting for us.
Whose office was it before? Like
From the municipality of Amsterdam.
from there?
The municipality of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a
Something official.
quite boring office, you know. So we didn't feel too bad tearing down the fake ceilings, and but yeah, all we were left with was this shell of the building, and we completely had to refurbish it and everything. And at that time, this street that we are up here, it was just named ugliest street in Amsterdam. So we were like, bummer. But a very cool thing happened. We said from the start already, like, this street's not a very nice street. We should put our social spaces on the top floor. Why not? And you create this nice vacuum upstairs, and it's quite safe.
It is. It feels like a almost like, I mean, I've never climbed up a tree and imagine I would sit in like a beehive or something.
Yeah.
But it's really like you're overlooking the city, and it's a nice vibe.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially in the summer when the garden is in full bloom, and there's bees bumbling around and little birds drinking from our waters.
Yeah.
So it's such a lovely place to also get some rest in the middle of the city, because life here can be quite frantic, as you might know. And the cool thing happened that we opened, and all these other really nice concepts started popping up on this street. And the street's now called the Knowledge Mile. And I don't know if you've heard from it.
No,
it's a very cool network that we are kind of friends with all the people along this street, all the businesses, and we work together as well with the other hotels. If there's like a big conference that wants to come to Amsterdam, we work together to kind of get them on the street, and we all house them and all have our meeting rooms and our event spaces available for them.
Nice.
And yeah, so it's quite a cool way, I think, of working together and not only being just your own place, but kind of looking and reaching out to your neighborhoods and your
more
neighbors.
like community-ish. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the coolest thing around this area, it really started gentrifying once we opened, and WeWork next door opened, and a lot of these cool places started popping up, and even the rental prices are going up now because it's a cool area, I consider it. Yeah.
So who would come here? Like, is it really a mixture of people, or?
I think the coolest thing is about the residents staying at Zoku. Those are really interesting people as well, because they're here for a few weeks and they kind of want to feel like a local, and they want to get into the social network. And so we also kind of connect them to the local community. And then there's a smaller group that also does business travel for a few days. They're here as kind of like the last group to fill up the rooms, of course. But we focus mostly on people staying for a week or longer, because that's really when people start benefiting from our community and from what we offer here.
What is your favorite? Like, you come here for work, or is it like, I almost get the feeling like you really live this concept, right?
Yeah. They usually the founders always say, "Yeah, this is Fearless, she is Zoku." I mean, for me, it's my job, but it's such a passion for me. I love what I do, and I think what I love most about it is I make people happy every day. I get to make people happy. That's kind of the, when people go up here and they're like, "Did you see the greenhouse?" Or, "Oh, it's such a lovely work day." Or, I mean, yeah, that for me, that makes it so worth it. So that's, really.
So you're also the chief of happiness, chief of
Yeah,
heart,
absolutely.
as we met before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm my official title was brand and concept manager. And what I do is really I try to crystallize this DNA and this ambience that we created here in terms of design, guest experience, brand, styling, all those things. Kind of the things that make Zoku Zoku that you can't really touch. Those things I'm bottling up right now, so to make it ready for our global rollout as well. Yeah.
Right. So what are typical things you work on a daily basis then?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite diverse. I mean, what I do definitely on a daily basis, we have a lot of locations lined up. So new Zoku locations, I check the designs for those. I really see if there's a certain flow created that works very well. Like we've tested things like, you know, there's no reception desk in these social spaces, so there's a certain way
I was confused. I'm like, where do I go?
like, where are we?
Okay, to the coffee, always to the coffee.
Yeah, always to the coffee, and it's a funny thing. I mean, people realize like, okay, where do I gravitate towards? People. But it's very important to have people first, then their needs and the flow that they need in terms of getting a space without being told, and then the design comes. So I work very closely with the architect to achieve that within the new designs of new Zokus. I work on guest experience things. So what does someone that comes here experience from the moment they get in touch with our brand to the
How do you find
time
out?
they leave? Talking to people. I talk to a lot of people. I have a full-time colleague just working purely on research, so both desk research as well as interviews. We have a full-time community manager, and he talks to a lot of people as well. So we have a lot of people really on a daily basis getting to know what frustrates people, what makes them happy, what we could do better.
What frustrates people?
What frustrates people? Good question. Fun thing is, at the moment, I mean, we've done like around 7 years of research before we opened this one. So it's safe to say we've done our homework.
Yeah.
So sometimes people ask me like, is there something really big that you would change? I say luckily not, so that's good. I mean, in the next Zokus you will see, of course, differences, but it's more also to kind of try new things. I think one of the biggest things we changed is this membership model that we put on top of these social spaces because of ambience, and we really realized how important it actually is to not have too many people in the space. I mean, we could have said, yeah, but we want to earn money and we want to make a lot of money on coffee, and so we're going to keep it busy. But we realized that the magic of this place is the ambience and the fact that you can do good work here, and kind of, if you want to not have a day at the office, you just get behind your laptop, get some really good coffee and do some work, join one of the rituals that we have during the day. So we have this little fika, Swedish coffee ritual, where we put some coffee on the beer table in the back, and people just get together at 3:30 and kind of mingle, and they all know about it, and they get to know each other. I think, one of the most important things is to preserve ambience, because if it gets too busy, that frustrates people a lot. So that's one of the biggest things I've learned in the last 2 years. Yeah.
Nice. Where's Zoku going next? Like,
Yeah.
because you just mentioned you're putting together designs and other thoughts.
Yeah.
And I saw a map over there where people can say like, where would you go?
It's really fun. Like we get the most random places sometimes. I'm like, isn't that somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Russia? But yeah, it's fun. You can already see where people are from, and when people put the pin there, I love going up to them and asking like, okay, why there?
Should we take a look of it? Like,
Absolutely,
can we walk
yeah,
there?
absolutely. So, I think this is a really cool map. I love it.
Yeah.
This is our world map of where should the next Zoku be. Of course, you see a lot of concentration in Europe.
Okay, so there is one. Is there one in Hamburg, or maybe we will? Okay, that's Hamburg.
Definitely.
Okay, good.
And we are actually looking at Hamburg as well. We're
Nice.
looking, at a lot of cities in Europe, as you might see here. People like it as well. Europe and US are our first focus. We're opening in 2020 in Copenhagen and Vienna.
Nice.
So it's pretty exciting. Those are the first.
What made you go to those cities?
Actually, so we've been looking at a few really cool cities in Europe that are cities with a lot of creative industries, a lot of tech industries, a lot of startups, what we focus on. City with a high tolerance, lots of international head offices and internationals and expats going around there. And there's just a few cities in Europe that are perfect for that. And I mean, Copenhagen and Vienna are two of them, but we also look at, of course, the usual suspects like Paris and London and Hamburg we're looking at as well. So that's pretty exciting. I think what's also very cool, we're looking at the US right now as well. And we're hoping, we have a team looking there very hard for new locations, and we hope that we're going to open some in the US soon as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Pretty exciting.
It's good. Berlin and Hamburg is on there, so.
Yeah. Oh, Berlin, absolutely. Yeah. I think from Germany, I think Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt we're also looking at. But it's there's a lot of good cities there.
Yeah.
You're from Hamburg.
Well, originally I'm from the north of Hamburg. We then lived in Berlin for a while, and we live in Hamburg now.
Cool.
But we also I lived in New York for a while, and in Amsterdam, of course.
Yeah, you're very
So,
international. You're like a global
little
nomad,
bit.
actually.
Yeah. I would fit in. I would feel at home. So where's like tell us about the space. Yeah. Oh, there's fish over there. I love it.
Yes.
Aquarium.
Toby, our goldfish, he's a great listener. Yeah, no, this space, I think what makes it amazing is that you have so many options, right?
Yeah.
So little living rooms like this, long tables where you just sit at the beginning of the day and then you end up talking to so many amazing people. There's this very open plan feel to it. So this bar is also made to kind of, people can walk through it, they can tap their own beer. What I love is when people stay here for a very long time and they kind of walk through the space and they pick up some dirty glasses and put them on the bar. Like, you know, it's their living room too. I love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah. I think people, they start to feel a certain sense of being part of the family after a while, and that's really what we want to create as well. Our sidekicks are hired.
You know what?
For that.
Actually, I think I'm gonna buy a goldfish too.
You
now.
are?
Yeah, because all my life I had an aquarium and then I stopped. So and now I'm just wondering why. Because,
You're looking at it and you're like,
and I would need someone to listen to it, like I can listen to. So maybe
it's a great listener. I mean, I always tell people, you know, like just talk to Toby.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So
It's very cool. And I mean, our 3D printer is awesome.
Well, what is
Prints
it?
little games, lots of toys for kids, because kids love 3D printed toys. Basically, we can make anything. Here we made a iPhone case.
okay.
Some merchandise.
Yeah.
Sometimes even our handyman, he prints tools for fixing.
How do you have you made something with it?
I personally am too much of a noob to work with it, but there's quite a lot of people who love figuring out how it works, and a lot of people know very well how it works. And yeah, print everything with it, you know. Games, toys, things that are useful.
Nice.
I usually tell them print something useful because then we can give it to someone.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate souvenir.
So people grab books and
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the styling here is that it's, you know, most places it's glued to the wall or glued to the cabinets, and you can't really interact with it. But here, grab a book.
yeah, it looks like decoration.
Yeah,
in most
exactly.
places, huh?
Yeah, it's just decoration. And with us, I mean, you see all these fish bowls. They have like pencils in it, or post-its, or markers, so all the stuff that you can grab. We have little toolboxes on the tables as well, with like a lot of office tools that you can just use. So it's, yeah, definitely, it's almost sometimes like a living room, you know, if you had a party and then afterwards you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a bit messy, but it kind of fits and it makes it a bit more honest and less slick. Yeah. So people, they come up here on their socks and they read a book and then they
Really?
feel at home. Yeah, I love it when they do that. Yeah.
So there's also what is the game room?
Yeah, the game room. I mean, the game room is kind of a hybrid where it's a meeting room, as you see right now, but it could also be an actual game room where, I mean, we've had karaoke parties in here that completely go out of hand. You can play Mario Kart together, you can play a game, like an old school board game. There's board games everywhere here as well. And so it's really fun. I think it's the kind of place where people really get to connect. If we have a Friday night, we always have live music here, and then sometimes people kind of end up in this game room and they want to be a little bit away from the music, but people keep on joining, because I think the shape of the room also allows for the couch is long enough and big enough for people to join that don't know each other, and you always get to interact with them. I kind of love that space. People come together there. Yeah.
I just see some price tags and like how do you, like when you're a member and you live here, do you still pay your drinks extra or is it all included? Like how does it work?
Unfortunately, not yet all included. We want to work towards a model like that someday. But for now, no. It's you do get a discount. So we say the longer you stay, the more you get out of it. So members get, for example, 20% discount on drinks, and that we just type it into the system for them. We have some people that actually know how the system works as well, so they just pick in their own drinks. They put it on their loft, you know. But mostly it's our sidekicks.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So what is, have we, like something about the space that you...
Well, I think the coolest thing about Zoku social spaces is that usually in hotels you have a lot of back of house. And that means that there's a place with, you know, a lock on the door, and as a guest you're not allowed to enter, and it's kind of behind the scenes. You never know what's going on there. And I'm pretty curious myself, so I just kind of want to know what it looks like. Here, as you see, there's no doors with private on it, or it's not locked away. It's kind of for you to see, very honest, and even the kitchen is completely open. It's also a space that invites you to get get behind the bar, get behind the kitchen table, and interact.
Around the corner?
Yeah, we're going to show you that as well. Yeah, and I think what it does, it really takes away the barrier between staff and residents.
Right.
So our sidekicks are very
Love it.
Informal in that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
people
yeah.
kind of feel that as well. It's very very honest. Hello guys.
Hi.
So this is our living kitchen. We just had breakfast.
Yeah.
So it's still clean up time.
I haven't
But,
had breakfast so much. Just steal and cheese.
Steal and cheese, yeah, go for it. But yeah, we always set up really nice breakfast here, healthy lunches with lots of crunchy salads. Fire is a big element at Zoku, so it's one of the things we keeps coming back. Also something for the next Zoku is we're going to have even bigger fireplaces because it just people love fire, they love food, and they love music, and it's kind of the three things that I've noticed connect people mostly.
Fire, food,
And music.
and music is
Yeah.
connecting people.
Yeah. It's like it's sitting around a fireplace that kind of makes you feel like you're camping around
With
the
a glass of
campfire.
wine and
right,
some
glass of
music. Okay,
wine.
that's
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean. And I think food is one of those universal things that if you share food together, it's always nice, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, you have these long communal tables here, and I think what's very cool is that every Tuesday we have a community dinner. So all the people that are staying here a bit longer, they come together and we introduce them together. Our community manager's there to tell them all about things they need to know about Amsterdam, those kind of things. And these long tables, they kind of invite you also to ask your neighbor, like, hey, can you pass the salt? And it's so easy to get to know people that way.
Yeah.
In the evening, you can also sit on this table and just chat to the chef, which they love as well. It's interacting. Yeah. And then music. I mean, that's kind of the language we all speak, right? And it's on Friday night. It's one big party here. People just dancing, enjoying music, and having a laugh and having a good beer, which is very nice.
Nice.
I love sitting in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Love the energy.
Yeah.
So that's the co-working space. Just walking past my favorite wall in Zoku. It kind of shows you like what happens here. A lot of people connecting and having fun, mostly. Co-working space, as you see, it's a bit more quiet. So we did this on purpose. It's kind of a place where if you want to be a bit more in the frantic, like energetic vibe, you go to the bar, and if you want to really kind of concentrate and get work done, you come here and really focus. And you're already seeing in the evening there's some really heavy ping pong tournaments going on here. People love it. So it's kind of I love this space because it works both ways. In one way, it's a very concentrated workspace. In the other way, it can be like the most frantic place with ping pong going on. But we also host events here, so we use that as an event space. When there's little community events and workshops going on, it's really great too.
How big are the spaces actually? Because we get to see the top, the rooftop, the social area now.
Yeah. You want to know kind of like
in square and how
square meters
and how many people fit. So it's 6 floors right now.
Yeah, 6 floors, a total of 133 lofts. Usually single occupancy, sometimes 2 people. And up here, I think our limit for the fire regulations is 175 people in the event space, and I think 150 over here. So it gets really cozy. Last Friday we had a big neighborhood event, and it was one big, your aunt's birthday kind of feel, with everybody sitting everywhere and just having a laugh. And it can get pretty busy on Fridays as well.
Yeah, nice. As my friend said, she comes here with her kiddo, right?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and it's really fun. Kids love it. They also love
she also said it's there's not a lot of places where you can hang out.
Yeah.
And where you have the feeling like kids can't break anything or fall off somewhere or.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think I love it in the weekends. A lot of people with kids come to have brunch, and then they just either work here and the kid just runs around and plays with the other ones, and it makes it for a nice change. During the week it's quite a work focused during the day, and in the weekend people just relax and bring their kids. Cool. Yeah. So here we're walking towards the meeting and events area. So this is just one of our meeting rooms. We try to kind of keep it a bit more playful. They have great views over Amsterdam, which I think is quite unique. And it's why also people love it. You get all these tools to kind of work with, get creative. This probably not so nice to film right now. We had a big painting party on Friday with the neighborhood, so it's a bit in the way. But this is one of our meeting rooms that, if you want to get creative, it's really great. You can use the entire.
Is it open? Can I use it?
Yes, absolutely. You can use the wall to really write all your ideas on and get creative on. And I think one of the cool things as well is that you can take the tables apart.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Walt's
yeah.
Workshop. So I don't know if you're familiar with the creative phases of Walt Disney and how he created cartoons.
No.
It's pretty cool. I mean, we also wrote it here. You have the dream phase.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the phase where he would lie horizontally, because that's when you're most creative, apparently,
Okay.
doing research. And he would think of really cool ideas. Then that one, of course, you need to take all the furniture out. So that's why you can take this apart. You can put these on the side and kind of dream. Then there's a presentation. It's a critical phase. So there, again, you leave the tables hanging on the side. I think there's here one as well. And you set up a presentation and you use the screen. And then there's a realist phase where you kind of sit around the table and really become realistic about what's a good idea and what's not.
So are people really like taking this apart and put a mattress and lie here?
Mattress, I've only seen once. I mean, it's my personal dream that people would do it. But yeah, no, I mean, people are still a little bit hesitant, of course, of doing that. But it's quite
But the
fun,
concept is nice. I mean, if you
yeah,
could
it's,
like, if you have more space and you can have maybe one room and then one next room and the next room. But
yeah, exactly.
the idea is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually one of our first ideas was to have each phase you have a room, but it was not functional enough with, you know, booking multiple people at a time. You need kind of two rooms at the same time. So
And these are all too magnetic and you can write on it. And
you can doodle on them. Like people go crazy with Post-it sometimes. It's like I walk past and I just stop because I see this neon walls full
and you're
of
like, oh my god,
Post-its.
who's gonna clean it up?
Yeah. Well, usually they do. They take all their Post-its, of course. But yeah, no, it's really, really fun. I think they really use the space to get creative. And I think the view helps as well, and the plants. And it's a nice space to meet. Yeah, sure.
It's actually, we're very lucky with the weather today.
Yes, we are.
We get
Absolutely.
Close this again.
Yeah, thanks.
Some blue sky.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, and this is the not a boardroom. I think. Let's see, card. And the name is of course a joke. People sometimes want the boardroom.
Okay, you get a more formal.
More formal. So we said, okay, at least it's not a boardroom, so it's it's not too boring. But yeah, I think it's a really nice space to have a serious meeting and again enjoy the view. Get some work done. People also book it for conference calls or when they have to really focus, and that's it's quite a nice touch. I can check if the event space is also free to check.
Oh, I thought that was the event space.
No. There's a really big one in the back. I'm not sure.
Okay, and another workshop room. So you have three
this
or
is
four.
two of each. Yeah. And then the small ones are kind of like the little workrooms. I hear this one is taken. Unfortunately, it's busy. It sucks. Yeah, so this is actually quite a big space. You can divide it in two, like we have today, and you have these acoustic walls, so you don't hear each other. Yeah. But you can also take these walls out completely, and then it's this amazing space, great view. I mean, you kind of see from the terrace. Yeah, to both sides. It's really. I think the best view is past these kind of Eastern European-looking buildings, but then towards the center. People love it. We have jazz here on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes, and people love it in summer. They come here on the rooftop and they just have a drink and kind of relax, watch the sun go down. It's great. So shall I show you your loft as well?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Cool. Awesome. I will. I think they should have one ready for now.
Okay, so this is where you can swap your art.
Yeah, this is the smallest. I can take you down one floor later, so I want to show you the actual big one, because it's actually quite bigger. But here, because we didn't have the space with the door, we have a small one. But it's very cool. You can just swap your art. And we just had a project with an artist, and she created all these cool artworks for the doors. And we're going to, in the future, we have some residents that are kind of almost like famous because they're added so much to the community, and we want to give them their own door, and then they can have the story on the wall here. Nice. It's going to be quite fun. always learn to knock in a hotel.
I know.
You
Room
never know.
service.
Yeah, room service.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Double check when you're
Welcome.
inside. Hello.
Exactly. I still had it once that I was here for 10 seconds and then there was still someone here.
Nice smell.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a special room spray. We have a partnership with Maris,
Yeah.
Amsterdam brand.
Yeah.
This is
Nice,
Objective
fresh, but not
Amsterdam.
too.
Yeah,
it
intense.
feels fresh, but not too. Like sometimes you get like, oh, this
Yeah.
was just cleaned. It
Yeah,
doesn't smell like
like-
that. It smells. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really like it as well. I think it creates a nice little welcome to your place kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So this is the loft. I mean, this one is 30 square meters. It's our Zoku Loft XL. And like I said in the beginning, you know, I think the cool things about this place is that the table is very central. So when you walk in, you see this table right away. There's a fully functioning kitchen with a little oven, playing rings. We love those. Yeah, and people do all sorts of stuff like stunts on them and put it on Instagram, and it's so much fun. But yeah, you can cook. You have your fridge and your dishwasher. You can make pizza, all these things, nice coffee. So it's quite nice if you have meetings as well. You can actually make a nice little lunch. Yeah. Also Marie Stellemaris.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is my favorite party trick.
Yeah.
The stairs. Yeah, everybody's seen them nowadays. But I think it's quite a nice feature that you can hide them actually, and that you can hide the bed if there's people coming over, which is really nice. I think this is more like people say it's almost like a little nest, you know,
Yes.
a little nook.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And underneath here you have a lot of storage space as well, which comes in quite useful if you're like me and you want to bring a lot of things. I think it's quite cool that this is almost like Tetris, you know, it stacks up against each other, and we use the height of the space, which makes it quite a smart loft. Oh, a lot of sound here. Yeah.
So there's more drawers.
Yeah,
here.
drawers. We got a safe in there if you want to lock some stuff
Yeah.
away. There's a lot more storage space over here as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really like almost, and you have a little working space here.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a tiny little workspace. We are changing that for the next loft because it's more actually, you know, if you want to take out your work stuff from the table and you have people coming over, you can kind of dump it in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do people sit here and work? Like,
sometimes, yeah, but not the tall people because it's you have, of course, the bed needs a certain height, so we had to cut it off somewhere. Yeah. But it's quite a nice space to just also put your laptop and your papers and have this designated space for it. Yeah.
Nice. You can even buy,
do dry cleaning.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do your own laundry. Yeah, we have a laundrette downstairs.
What is when I forget something like toothbrush or something because
upstairs. Yeah, I forgot to show you. We have a little shop which has it's called the Almost Everything store and has like anything you might have forgotten. You can just buy.
Because that happens like all the time.
Yeah, me too. And also people who live sometimes still in a different time zone and they just get hungry at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know the moment when you get hungry and you're in a hotel and you're like,
it's all closed.
It's all closed. There's no minibar. What do I do? You can just grab you can even grab breakfast there.
Something
at 3 in the
from the
morning
fridge.
if you want. Yeah, you can just get like a little snack or something, like a drink or it's quite useful.
Nice.
And here we have the bathroom. This one is quite a small but really smart, compact bathroom.
Yeah.
And a really,
I mean,
good
that's
shower.
people. I talked to my friend this morning because that's people really have a different, because space is so limited, like especially in Amsterdam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, a lot of things are compromised. Not compromised. How do you say?
Compact or
it's really small spaces, but not. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like you're moving. How do you say that?
Really cramped or
cramped.
Cramped. Yeah, and I think that's. I mean, it took us 7 years to really think this through so well, and 6 prototypes. I mean, we over the 7 years we started with a little maquette, and then we made a whiteboard room, just like really cheap wooden material, but just kind of the layout. And
but you made the room with cardboard. That's what I thought the other day. If you have time and if you have a little bit of money to invest, it's very smart to have a room or office or something and put it like from cardboard, put it the way you want it, because you get another experience with it,
Absolutely.
right?
I think the most important feature that you can kind of get the spatial feeling of it.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of people that were kind of skeptical because we said we're making a complete apartment into the same space of a normal hotel room. And people said, yeah, that's going to feel cramped, you know? And we said, okay, you come over, you know, come check it out. And then it turns out people were like, oh, that's smart, you lifted up the bed, so...
Yeah, but I don't know why we don't do that. I mean, that's another topic, but for example, I mean, when we made clothes, I used to I studied fashion design, so we always made the clothes. Okay, you draw it first, then you make a little doll maybe or something, and you see, okay, this could be something, so you make it on another doll, so you really go bigger, until you have the full outfit.
You prototype all the time then?
You prototype all the time, but also in one-on-one size, right? So in rooms and offices, we don't do that because we don't have the time, we don't have the money. But it's probably in the end, it's a never finished process. Of course, it's a never finished process anyway.
But it's cheaper.
Learn and adapt, but it's cheaper because I think you in the end you get a faster result and a better result.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And I think for us, this proved as well. Like people ask me, would you change big things in the room? No, not really, because we've done our research. We've made so many prototypes. We even had people walk around with mobile EEG scanning equipment on there to test for their brainwaves. That was a really fun one. And we had eye tracking, so we could see when they loved something, they're excited about it, and when they were a little bit anxious about it.
Okay, what are people anxious about and what are people excited?
That's a good question. So the funny thing was, anxiety-wise, I'll show you what happened. The stairs they got, but then when they came into the room, so this was closed, right? And this girl, she was like, okay, oh, there's a bed, you know, I'm gonna go to the bed, and then she started. This wasn't there. This leather strip. She started like, okay, how do I get in here? And we just realized if we put a little handle here, you know, how easy is that you can kind of easily open it
immediately.
Yeah,
so it's really super tiny things. But still big. Make it big.
Yeah, and I wonder if we didn't have that leather strip over there, how many times this would be broken, or, you know, people get a little bit like, okay, how do I get in here?
So this doesn't open, right?
No, this doesn't open. It's also for safety a little bit, so if you roll, you know, at least part of you catches. And you can sit on it if you want, and that's a nice...
and actually there's a lot of space up here too, huh?
Yeah. For like your laptop, or even like some people put their suitcase up there. I mean, they put lots of books there and things, personal things. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We once even put a mattress up here.
How do you book it? Because I looked it up. You can only book through your website, right?
No, you can book. Mostly people book through our website or just booking.com, Expedia,
okay, but
Airbnb.
then was really sold out because
probably
because I checked for MP because I thought it would be nice as well.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, it's these few days that are just. I think the whole Amsterdam is just mayhem right now. Yeah.
Next time MP. Do you want to stay here next time?
For sure.
Yeah, let me know. I can arrange a nice deal.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good to experience, I think. Thank you. We leave it nicely. Yeah. But it's, I think, in terms of what we discovered with the EEG scanning, that was really, really fun. I think people just get...
Oh my God, I'm so gonna move in here.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so this is also one of those things. We have a big feminine design team. And there's a big reason for that, because most hotel rooms and hotels, there are a lot of men on the design process. And we said we want some women in there as well, because you get little things like hot water bottles or blankets on the couch, or like make sure that the couch is actually really comfortable. And it's kind of these little details that make it really feel homey, and guys wouldn't think of it, but they do appreciate it. Like when I talk to also men that stay here, we have like a mix of 50% men and women staying here. They say like, oh, it's just really cute that you have the hot water bottle, you know? They actually notice it, which I'm pretty excited about. Yeah. And the rings, I think if I could film people coming in here, one of the first things they do, like you did as well, is like, oh, rings, you know, like, woohoo! It's this little thing that makes you feel like a kid. It makes you kind of happy.
Yeah. Do all rooms have this, or do they have different things?
Yeah, so all the XL lofts, so the 30 square meter lofts, they have this. Yeah, yeah. And the smaller ones, then it's really getting a bit too cramped to put it in. So there we don't have them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, of course.
Many hotel rooms, I realized they don't go technology wise with the iPhones, so they always have these old stations, and I'm like, that doesn't work anymore.
No, it's so old school. Yeah,
it's so old school.
Yeah, and what I love as well, we have this little USB socket next to your bed. So if you forgot your adapter, or you bring only one adapter, you're from America, you have one for your laptop, but then you're usually your phone, you can't charge at the same time. And now you have the USB for your phone. You want to go up or you want to go down to see the art swap? We can just walk, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I think what's cool about the art swap is also that we work together with local artists and international artists. And we had David Garson stay with us. He's like the most famous graphic designer on the planet. He was proclaimed. It was really funny. And he stayed with us for like 2 months. He was part of the furniture. We love him. We miss him even. Like now he's not there anymore. And he made so much artwork for Zoku. It was so cool. He was very inspired, and he just made a lot of things. I think these 3 are from him.
Nice.
Yeah, and Zoku, Sweet Zoku, of course, which is a cute little play.
Basically, you grab things here and you bring them. Do people do that? Like they grab things they like?
All the time, yeah. Sometimes
especially when they stay for longer, probably.
Yeah, especially then. I mean, I'm pretty like picky with my colors, for example, my color scheme. So
so am I. I
right?
always go for
and
black and white.
And I think there's also, what's cool is there's quite a different, like a mix, especially in this one also, you can see a mix of styles. So, if you like print with if you like, this is a David Carson one.
Yeah.
I really love this one. Yeah, better together.
Better together.
Yeah, it's one of the quotes we use a lot. And you can kind of you see people kind of hoarding things as well. They go to different floors and like, oh, I love this one. And then you're like, whoa, there's one rated completely, and then you see that people really kind of say, okay, I want more of a black and white style, or I want more popping colors, or a lot of text people love sometimes as well. So yeah, I love it when people do that.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Anything to add?
No, I'm just, I mean, it sounds like a really exciting project. Great.
Thank you so much for taking time, Verna.
You're welcome.
That was very inspiring, very nice.
Cool, and next time you're here, let me know, then you guys can stay here.
We will, and if you have plans for Hamburg or Berlin, you let us know too.
Definitely.
We're happy to test the rooms and everything.
Yeah.
And,
come
connect
over.
you with the community over there.
That's great. Yeah, I'll definitely get into that. Thank you so much. Thank you. And good luck.